That's right, the beach season is heating up, and today we dive straight into the waves with the king of Atlantis himself, the Submariner. Now on the surface, the Submariner looks like a simple one-cost card, but don't let that fool you. This card has some sneaky value built into it. His ability says, when this card is empowered, add a random one-cost character to your hand with the same increase. And that's where things get interesting. Because every time Submariner gets a buff, it just doesn't add power to the board. You're also creating a card with the same buff. That means more resources, more cards, and more ways to pressure your opponent in all three locations. So the key point here now is, how do we buff Submariner? Now let's talk about some synergy, shall we? Play Jeff, then play Submariner in the Jeff lane so he reveals with extra power and starts generating value. If you can get Victoria down before you dump your random one cost, those created cards will come out way more powerful. With Marvel Boy, it's simple. If Marvel Boy keeps hitting Submariner, you can keep stacking power and value. Now Stick buffs the next card you play. If you're able to buff Stick and then play Submariner, you can create a random one cost with immense power. Now that we saw some cards that synergizes great with Submariner, let's talk about some decks that I think you'll be great in. Starting with a deck I like to call the King of Atlantis. Starting with Agony. Now Agony is a one-cost card that when you play after it, it buffs that card. And then we have Chavez, also a one-cost card that buffs the top card of your deck. And then we have the star of the show, Submariner. And then next we have Forge, which also gives +2 power to the next card that is played. Then we have one of the newest cards in MarvelSnap, this Season Pass card, Jeff the Baby Dolphin, which once you play on it, the cards reveal with +1 power. Then the next card we have is everyone's favorite buffer, and that's Maverick, which is an activate card that also adds power to the next card being played. Then next, we have the second newest card this season in MarvelSnap, and that's Venus. This card is phenomenal, one of the best cards out to date, and you can pick her up alongside Jeff the Baby Dolphin at shop.marvelsnap.com. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Her abilities, she gives an additional +1 to all cards that are empowered. Then we have one of my favorites, Silver Surfer First Steps, which doubles on reveals. And then we have Jubilee the Silver Surfer, which her ability is amazing. When you draw a card, add this card's power to it. And then we have the Queen of Wakanda, Shuri. Now Shuri's ability, of course, is double the next card's power. And then we have Stick. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Stick is phenomenal because he too adds his power to the next card played. And then with all those cards in the field being buffed. And of course, don't forget all those one-cost cards that are also empowered with the same buff empowering piece as Submariner. When you play Gilgamesh, you're getting +1 for each of those cards in play. And for those who don't want to play Gilgamesh, you can also play Iron Man, because you can put Iron Man in a lane with all those cards that got buffed, or put Iron Man in another lane with that empowered one-cost card. And then we have the Sub Bounce. Now, it's a traditional Hit Monkey style list, but with something a little bit different. Now you have Victoria Hand that buffs all those cards created in hand. And with cards like Submariner getting buffed and adding those one-cost cards in hand, you will have a hand of pure awesomeness. Not to mention Black Swan activating on turn 5, turning all those one-cost cards into 0 costs. So now you're playing 0 cost cards, filling up the board, and being able to have those cards have additional power, both from empowering Submariner and as well as Victoria Hand giving that additional love. So where does the bounce come in? Well, the bounce also helps with those cost reductions. So if you don't get Black Swan, you can go ahead and use Beast. And if you fill up the board in such a way that you're like, I want to move things around, you can play Falcon to pull all those one-cost cards back into your hand. But the key play here, of course, is getting Submariner down early enough where Marvel Boy can go ahead and keep hitting that card end of turn, giving you additional one-cost cards in your hand. Now you also have cards like Elsa Bloodstones, Gwenpool. These cards can also help buff and empower cards in your hand or on the field. So between these two decks, I'm telling you guys, I have a blast. This summer just got even hotter because Submariner is coming out soon, and I guarantee you this card will be one of the best cards in your collection. Now with all of that being said, do you think Submariner is going to be the best card this season? Maybe. Either way, I do think he has real potential. Any cards that could turn buffs into more cards deserves your attention. In the right shell, Submariner might not just be swimming in the meta. He might be creating his entire whole new wave. So let me know what you think. Are you picking up Submariner, or are you leaving him at the bottom of the ocean? As always, keep collecting those variants. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.